with Josh Robbins, The Athletic.
Steve, what do you think your team needs to improve on, and what do you think your team did well tonight?
Well, I mean, first of all, they, obviously Atlanta's playing well. It was a huge game for them, and they played well. I mean, the biggest thing, one, the rebounding game, and two, just controlling the ball, dribble handoffs and high pick and rolls in particular. Especially second half was better. In the first half, we got crushed, and it wasn't just Trae Young. Bogdanovich, Herter, Lou Williams, and that was disappointing because the last time we played here, our high pick and roll defense was actually pretty good. So, listen, we'll beat Philadelphia. They're in Miami right now. We'll be in Philly tonight before they will, and hopefully we'll have a little bit better approach.
Luke Hetrick, Spectrum Sports.
Coach, what impact does playing a team like Atlanta that is still fighting for playoff positioning have on how you try and evaluate your team moving forward?
Well, I think the biggest thing that I just talked to these guys in there, it's consistency and it's execution. There's not a lot of difference between, say, the better players in the G League and the 13th, 14th, and 15th man on a roster. But the difference is the guys that make the NBA, you can execute with. And, our level of execution tonight was not even close. So I thought Sindarius played well. I thought Dante did a good job off the bench. And except for that, there wasn't a lot of very good individual performances. So hopefully by the time we get to Philadelphia, guys get rested, we'll play better tomorrow night.
Dan Savage, OrlandoMagic.com.
Cliff, if the score holds up, it appears that the Philly game will still mean something important for them tomorrow. Just how much more valuable is it to be playing teams in that type of situation at this point in the season versus some of the other scenarios that could exist?
Yeah, I mean, it probably is. I mean, right now, I think what our guys are, we have a group with the exception of Gary Harris that are just learning how difficult it is to get yourself in position to have the right level of intensity and concentration every night. We went from, not very good against Minnesota to really very good against Milwaukee. The more I watched the film, the better I saw, we were on things. And, maybe the day of practice helped. I don't know. Tonight, again, in terms of execution areas that you have to be able to do, controlling cutters, controlling the ball, closeout game, ball movement, purpose of play and offense, it wasn't close. And that may be, Dan, the biggest lesson. In this league, when people say it's a marathon, not a sprint. No, it's not. The best teams play every night. The best players don't take nights off. It's the difference. And I think that's one of the things that our younger guys are learning.
Philip Rossman Reich, Orlando Magic Daily.
With young teams especially, how difficult is it to get them to kind of build that consistency, especially when shots don't go down early? Seems like, especially early on, shots weren't going down and that kind of deflated.
No, that's a good point. And I mean, if you look at it, since the trade deadline, the games that we've won, we've made a bunch of threes. We've done other things, but as much as anything, we've made a bunch of threes. And yeah. It's a valid point. And part of it too, not to make excuses, we're not very organized. There's a newness to the group still that hurts us, especially when teams go, 8-2. We don't have like our 3 or 4 plays that we execute well, so that hurts us also.
Any final questions for Coach Clifford? Thanks, Cliff.